Our next inductee is one of the greatest all-round athletes in El Paso sports history. The military brought his father, mother, brothers, and him to El Paso, where he grew up and started Urban High School. It was the era of Tony Shaw and outstanding football teams. He started a playoff game in the Sun Bowl against Tom Work at Riverside and threw for more than 200 yards as a freshman. After starting for 4 years, as a quarterback, he was a 5-star recruit and took official visits to Notre Dame, Miami, Syracuse, and Texas before finally selecting the UCLA Bruins. While in high school, he was one of the best discus throwers in El Paso history and even state history. He won the discus at state as a sophomore and as a senior, and at 206 feet, he had the second longest discus toss at that time in state history. At UCLA, he was a backup quarterback, and then they moved him to linebacker and finally to fullback, where he led the Pac-10 in touchdowns as a junior. He was part of a UCLA team that won 18 straight games. He played in the Rose Bowl. He actually played in the Sun Bowl as well, Sun Bowl game. And he played on 2 Pac-10 co-championship teams, one that shared the crown with none other than Mike Price and Washington State. After college, he signed a free agent contract with the Houston Texans and played as a special teamer on the first Texans squad, the first year that defeated the Cowboys 19-10. When you're undrafted, you sometimes don't get the shot you deserve. He knew he belonged in the NFL, but he still had great success in NFL Europe. He was on a World Bowl championship team with the Berlin Thunder. Since his playing days, he's been in real estate. He's co-founded a mentoring program to help high school athletes earn scholarships. He now has a company with his brother helping businesses get loans. And maybe talking about it, but he's contemplating moving his family from California back home to El Paso. Nominated by Coach Norman Phillips, ladies and gentlemen, in the athlete category, let's welcome Ed Stansberry into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good evening. What an amazing night this is. And yes, a special time for my wife and I. After 18 years in California, we've decided to move home and raise our 2 boys here in the great city of El Paso. So we're excited about that. To begin, I wanted to give a big thanks to the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame for my induction, as well as a big thanks to Coach Norman Phillips and Coach Mark Torres for nominating me with this great class. Also a special thank you to friends and family that were able to attend here tonight. Growing up in my family, my parents never really let me indulge in any of my accomplishments. It was always keep your head down, stay humble, and continue to push forward. So I wanted to share a funny story about the day I got the call. I was being inducted, and I was actually at my mother-in-law's house out in California, and as soon as I got the call and told everybody, we were cheering, kids were running around, everybody was hugging each other, the exact scene you would picture when receiving such great news. So in contrast, when I called to tell my parents a few minutes later, I didn't get a chance to speak to my mom. She was actually in Australia on spring break, but I did get a like from her on Facebook. So thanks for that, Mom. And when I called to tell my dad, he completely ignored what I said and went on about how the wind was picking up here in El Paso. So Mom and Dad, thanks, but I'm gonna let this one sink in for a while. But I do appreciate you guys always keeping me grounded and keeping me humble. I know you guys are proud of me. My athletic accomplishments have taken me from El Paso to UCLA, the NFL, around the world and back. And one thing I've always done, no matter what, no matter who I've come across, was voicing how proud I was to be an El Pasoan. Looking back at what I accomplished here, I wouldn't have changed a thing. I was living out my dreams, exceeding my goals, all while competing at a national level. I feel I achieved so much and represented myself, my family, my coaches, Irvin High School, and most importantly, the city of El Paso in the best way possible while bringing a national spotlight onto our beautiful city, and was proof that we have just as good of athletes here as anywhere else in the nation. To the young athletes in the room being honored tonight, I wanted to share something with you that motivated me to be the best athlete I could be. And it's something my dad would tell me when I was laying around the house or sitting around watching TV. And he would pop his head in the room and say, there's somebody out there right now practicing to beat you. And granted, that was a nice version, but but from those words, I would immediately get up and find something I could work on to be better at. That saying, as I got older, eventually evolved into me being the person that was always practicing. In my head, I was the one that was going to beat you because I was always out perfecting my game. So use what motivates you to push your limits and practice outside of your comfort zone. It'll definitely take you a long way, and congratulations on being here tonight. I'm blown away by the accomplishments you guys have. As a professional athlete, you're always striving for those defining moments in your career where you can step back and acknowledge all the hard work and sacrifices you've made throughout your career. It's also an opportunity to thank the people around you for their unconditional love and support. This honor and recognition tonight is certainly one of my proudest sports accomplishments and is a defining moment in my life. This makes all those sacrifices and hard work throughout my entire athletic career worth it. I stand here tonight representing my entire support system that has been with me since the beginning. This is our night, and I share this honor with you. To my wife, Karis, you're my rock and have been my biggest supporter since the beginning. Thank you for all you've done. Words cannot express how much I love you. To my parents, Mom and Dad, thank you for all the sacrifices you've made for my brothers and I growing up and allowing us to just concentrate on school and sports. To my brothers, Hal and Don, thank you for bringing out the competitiveness in me. As a kid, all I ever wanted to do was be like my older brother. To my father-in-law, Mike Protenick, my sister-in-law, Brandis, my mother-in-law, Becky McBain, and her husband, Demas Vega, thank you guys for your unconditional love and support over the years. To my best friends, Jason Flores and John Uphoff, you guys have been there through the good and the bad times, and I thank you for that. You guys are uncles to my sons for a reason. To my coaches, Tony Shaw, who my son is named after, Cliff Olander, Leon Stewart, Rick Hernandez, Kenny Owens, and Keith Paulson are here tonight, and the rest of my coaches and administrators going all the way back to Canyon Hills, thank you for spending those long hours with me and molding me into the man I am today. To my teammates from all 4 varsity teams I played on at Irvin, I couldn't have accomplished the things I did without you. Thank you, and I share this honor with all of you. Lastly, I wanted to mention my 2 sons, West and Shaw, my 2 most important trophies. Although you weren't around to see Daddy play, everything I did when I was competing was to make my family proud. Now that I'm your father, I hope this honor is something you 2 can be proud of when you're older, and Daddy loves you. Thank you, everyone. I'm so honored. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Oh, yes, we need the photo. Sorry. And I think you told me your mother's Samoan, is that right? Thus the lay. And now old football fans like Mike Price, Bob Stoll, remember the throwing Samoan? Well, there's the throwing Samoan instead of Jack Thompson right there. Okay, we move now to the coaching administrator category. We only honor 2 in what is consistently the most competitive category with the most nominations. The tennis coaching achievements of our next inductee are non-paralleled. As coach at Coronado High, he's led the T-Birds to 7 team Final Four appearances, including 3 runner-up finishes and the 2000 State Team Tennis Championship. Meanwhile, he's guided a great many individuals to state appearances. He's had 3 doubles teams win state titles, and he's got more, including Nathan Brown, going to state in a couple of weeks. Coronado, under his guidance, has never lost a tennis match to another El Paso team. Meanwhile, our new inductee has had enough energy to manage the El Paso adult USTA leagues for many years. More than 50 adult teams have made nationals. Before he got into high school tennis coaching, he was an outstanding high school football coach who was part of the staff that led Jefferson to its first playoff appearance in its 40-year history. He moved to El Paso after an outstanding college football career as a receiver at Louisiana Tech, where he was part of the 1973 Division II National Championship football team. One of his best friends in college was a Louisiana Tech basketball guard by the name of Tim Floyd. Tim wrote a letter of support for his induction into the Hall of Fame. And there's Tim right there. Gosh, hi Tim, didn't even know you were here. Thanks for writing the letter and supporting this gentleman. It's my privilege to nominate him because I knew, and we all know, that in the coaching category he belongs in our hall. Let's welcome Coach Jerry Pippins into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame. That is so funny. I didn't know Tim was here, and I looked up, and there he was.
I really don't need these. I'm just putting them on as an accessory. Thank you, Kevin, for that fine introduction. This is truly a very special evening for me. I feel very privileged to be up here. I go to the UTEP basketball game sometimes, and as I walk through the Haskins Center, I can't help but look at the Hall of Fame plaques, and I think, wow, what a great honor. It's a tremendous amount of history there as far as coaches, administrators, athletes, officials, and media. I am so honored to now be a part of this history. I want to thank Kevin Lovell for nominating me for this award and all his hard work in this process. I thank the Hall of Fame committee for picking me for such a prestigious award. I offer congratulations to all the award winners here tonight, those at the head table, and to all the high school athletes. Being a high school coach, I know all the sacrifices high school athletes make on a daily basis. Long practices. If you're lucky enough, you may get home in time to eat dinner with the rest of your family. And then it's off to study for a few hours. I know your parents and coaches are extremely proud of you. For those of you that are seniors, I wish you the best as you move on to your next phase of life. Coming from a football background, I do get asked the questions from time to time, how did you get into tennis? The answer is Y League basketball. After football season, we'd put a team together and we'd play the Winter League. As I got older, the injuries became more frequent, and I decided, well, maybe I should look into going into something else. So I started playing tennis. Tennis wasn't any easier, but I fell in love with the sport, and at that particular time, so the journey began, and what a journey it has been. Coaching tennis has given me the opportunity to meet and cross paths with a lot of fascinating people, some of them in the audience tonight. I can truly say that if I never win another tennis match, I have had more than my share of success. While I'm the one receiving this award, it is shared by many. I want to thank my wife, Debbie, my biggest supporter. Without her, I would not have been able to do the things I have done. This is her award as much as it is mine. Kenny Owen, Athletic Director at EPISD, thanks for all your support. Thanks for not firing me every time I ask you for more money to go on longer trips. And, I was just thinking, is this possible a good time to ask for a bonus? I'll call you next week. So, thanks to my assistant coaches that I've had the opportunity to work with over the years, I've hoped they've learned much from me as I have from them. Thanks to the parents that have been a part of our program, I will always remember the support I was given and the good times that we shared. Last but not least are the players that I have had through the years. I am honored to be a part of their lives for the time that they were going out of high school. Without their hard work and dedication, this would not be possible. Thank you.